Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about Warner Brothers. You know, it's so funny. Everybody says you guys don't talk about Warner Brothers negatively like you do Disney. I'm like, well, they ain't give us much to work with. Now they're giving us lots to work with.
They've given us stuff to work with. We have talked about them.
We've been talking about Cartoon Network and Crunchyroll and DC Comics and all that stuff. Just everybody hones in on, you know, you do more Disney videos. I'm like, well, Disney overall does dumber stuff, you know, but Warner Brothers is just trying to hold on by its fingertips. So we're going to talk about this because their credit rating has taken a hit. And a lot of people in Hollywood are wondering what they're going to do next. We did a video last week that they took a $9 billion impairment charge on their TV networks, basically admitting that their TV stations, or linear TV stations, including Cartoon Network, are worthless. Mm-hmm. They're worthless. They don't have any value. And CNN. And we know they've had trouble with CNN, and we know that Cartoon Network seems to be getting shut down by degrees. Every other month, you know, they take a little bit away and they shut the website down, and it just looks like they're going out of business. So we're gonna talk about this because I think we're gonna see a lot of Warner Brothers fire sales because they have got to make some money, and they have a lot of stuff that's just not profitable. And if somebody else is willing to take it off their hands, I think Zaslav would probably sell it. So before you get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. You get woohoo if you do.
Woohoo!
Yeah. So first, we're gonna talk about this. A couple people sent me a link to this actually, and thank you for that. But the S&P put Warner Brothers Discovery on negative credit watch. It's like death watch, right? The ratings firm cited a linear TV decline for revising its outlook to negative from stable, while affirming the BBB minus rating. I don't know if that's good or bad. Is that like good credit, bad credit, fair credit, shit credit? So on Friday, the ratings firm revised its outlook to negative from stable while affirming a BBB credit rating. Warner Brothers, led by Zaslav, has been under pressure from Wall Street amid industry-wide challenges, including advertising softness, is flaccid, and cord cutting, as investors look for return on an expensive transition from legacy linear TV to streaming.
But streaming isn't going to work in the way it's just turning all back into legacy TV anyway.
Yeah.
It's just that you're just, you know, doing it on, you know, the streaming services instead. But it's the same damn thing.
It's the same thing. It's basically, it's cable. It's actually more than cable. It costs more than cable now to subscribe to all these services. Costs more than cable. So a lot of people are just throwing their hands up in the air and they're like, the hell with it. I'm going to go back to watching cable, or I'm going to go just buy a Roku TV and it's got 1,000 channels on it. I can watch for free. I don't care if it's old. I don't need to watch the newest stuff because a lot of the new stuff sucks. S&P cited debt concerns after its financial performance during the first half of the year. The negative outlook reflects our expectations that Warner Brothers leverage will remain elevated in 2024 at a 4x4 rate and decline to 3.8x.
Whatever that means.
Yeah. Which is above our 3.5x threshold for the rating. We probably have to dig into how they calculate all this, but basically they're not getting the return on the investment. They have a lot of debt. I know they have billions and billions of dollars in debt, and they did have a debt chart out there, but I think that everything is up in the air now. This is why Paramount is selling itself off to Skydance, because they blew themselves up chasing streaming. They were already hurting. It's like they keep doing this. They said that additionally, the potential loss of the NBA broadcast rights starting in the second half of 2025 could exacerbate an already challenging environment for linear TV. Now, people were forgetting, when we covered the Disney thing yesterday with the streaming bundle, right? With Fubo.
Oh, the Venue Sports.
Yeah, Venue Sports. Yeah. They put an injunction in that. I don't know why people think it's an injunction. That means that they're going to look into it more and see if it violates antitrust.
No one's getting, going to jail.
Nobody's going to jail.
Sued or lost. Right?
Rachel Zegler's not in prison. I don't understand what the hell is going on with this, but it's like, no, it's simply they were going to bundle. It was going to be Warner Brothers, Fox, and Disney. They were going to bundle all their services up and basically try to run Fubo out of business. And they
or companies like Fubo,
or companies like Fubo, right? And there are other places, to stream sports or whatever, but it depends. It's complicated. But the judge is like, no, you can't do that yet. We have to look into it, make sure this doesn't violate antitrust.
But it stops them from releasing it as soon as they wanted until it's looked into more. It was what's going on.
By the time they get around to it, Warner Brothers will be out of business.
I don't know. It might be. I mean, I think they were counting on that, venue to be able to use to probably keep their NBA stuff. I don't know what's going on with this, but that's not good. I think they needed that.
What's so weird though is, okay, so this is why they think the outlook is actually going to improve, but it's actually, I don't think it's going to because of some of the stuff that's been said, done lately. So Warner Brothers has more general entertainment content on its linear networks compared to Disney and Fox, which are more weighted towards sports and news in Fox's case. Additionally, Warner Studios has experienced significant volatility over the past several quarters due to the lingering effects of the actors' strike that included in late 2023 and shitty movies. They forget to put that in there. And volatility as gaming studio due to the lack of repeated success in 2024 compared to 2023 with Hogwarts Legacy. So they lost $200 million on Suicide Squad.
Uh-huh. And one of these things is not like the other.
Right. And that's so weird. Like gaming journos were trying to get them to cancel Hogwarts Legacy, and that was a massive hit for them. But they're also talking they might sell off their gaming studios and they might just outsource because they're not making money. And a lot of this stuff, like, even looking at the situation with like Cartoon Network and all that, it's like they could theoretically just outsource a lot of it. I don't think these animators are going to get the money that they're hoping for. Or if they do, it's not going to be everybody. It's going to be a handful of people that are left because Warner Brothers, which has Cartoon Network and Boomerang and, they don't have the money. Mm-mm. They don't have it. They just don't have it. So now they're like, what's next for them? I don't think they have a plan. I mean, their stock is like $7. They said the once mighty company's market cap now stands at $17.75 billion, down from the $27.39 billion at the end of 2023.
Ooh, just at the end of.
Yeah. And the well-off $280 billion market cap of AT&T. So this is what happened with Warner Brothers. For those of you who don't remember, it was AT&T owned it. Mm-hmm. And they took all the Warner Brothers stuff, scraped it off the bottom of their shoes, and they stuck it in with Discovery, and they formed a new company. The problem is that Warner Brothers Discovery can't keep itself solvent, right? It's Warner Brothers historically has had to be propped up by another company. And in the past, it was, AOL, it was Time Warner. It was, they always had these other companies propping them up. And then as soon as they had the safety net taken away from them, they freaking collapsed. I think the only way Warner Brothers is going to survive is if like a Netflix or somebody buys them.
And then they had some things like they had that one Acme versus, was it Coyote versus Acme or whatever? Things like that could have, people said really good and they might have helped themselves. And then they shelved it, wrote it down. Like did a write down on it. It doesn't make any sense. Like they're making some really weird decisions over there.
Yeah. It's the other Looney Tunes movie, they are releasing it, but it's getting released through a third party.
Oh, they are releasing it?
Yeah, it's Ketchup Entertainment. Not the Coyote one, but the I forget what it's called. I think it's Porky Pig, Daffy Duck or something. Oh, okay. But it's like Ketchup Entertainment. So I think somebody else could have come in and said, "Hey, we will release this movie." This is what happened, I think, with the new Batman animated series, the Cape Crusader, the one with the gender swap penguin. It was that's a whole thing. Did you know about that?
I knew about it, yes.
Penguins got tits now? Yeah.
But I was thinking too about the fact that they kept having those movies out like The Flash and stuff like that. Like what'd they expect?
Blue Beetle, Flash, Black Adam. I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on. Shazam 2. None of their movies are doing well. They have Superman coming eventually, but like I don't know how that one's gonna do. I don't know if it's gonna do well enough to bring him back from the brink. But they said, none of the options facing Warner Brothers are great right now. Said this senior analyst at eMarketer. Okay, whatever. I guess you have to believe him because he's senior analyst. Warner Brothers will try to M&A, that's mergers and acquisitions, M its way out of its issues. But the AT&T and Discovery mergers were financial disasters, so investors should take caution before buying into synergies of any proposed merger. They said the company has already considered and rejected splitting off its debt and linear TV businesses from the studio and streaming businesses, concluding that would lead to lawsuits, according to a company insider. This is what these companies can do. This is what's so bullshit about this. Like, a normal person can't do this, but they can actually take all of their debt, like whatever divisions of a company are doing badly, they can just spin that off into another company and say it's that company's problem now. It's not this company's problem. It's this other company's problem. This other company owes all that money. This other company's got all this debt. It's not my company's fine.
Well, interesting. They're talking down here below about Zaslav, which I'm surprised he still has a job.
I am shocked.
But they said Zaslav has made plenty of enemies in Hollywood. He has angered creators by canceling completed movies to get tax write-off. Yes. And removing content from streaming sources as a cost-saving measure. He said that Warner didn't need the NBA and now finds himself in a lawsuit with them. Yeah. And, you know, he's just, he gets paid how much money to blow this place up?
Well, that's the thing. They said the loss of value has been remarkable. I mean, it went from being like Warner, but Paramount, it's the same thing, right? Paramount was like the gold standard for studios. Warner Brothers was like the gold standard for Hollywood studios. And both of them chased streaming. Mm-hmm. And they both blew themselves up, but Warner Brothers doesn't have a Skydance to bail them out. You know, and Paramount does, but it's sad. And it's also like, well, it serves you right. You know, looking at Hollywood right now, it's just like, you guys have made some really dumbass decisions.
It's every day is what dumbass decision they're going to make next. I don't get it, but you know, hey, it is what it is. So yeah, they're saying, that they're worried that they could go tits up. Tits up. Is that basically? Tits up. Is that what they're basically saying? Their credit's not good. Credit's not good. You don't do that to somebody who thinks going to win. Nope. Their credit's not good. They're talking, they're going to be selling stuff off. They're losing in sports. They're going to need, honestly, it's going to take a miracle. And I think it's going to take like a Netflix or somebody coming along and buying them, Apple or somebody, and just being like, you know what, we'll take the Warner Brothers assets. And that's all it is now. It's IP, it's content. It's not art. It's not film. It's not, your whatever. It's not my musical opus. It's not it's content to these companies. That's all it is, and that's all it's gonna be for the foreseeable future. It's like there is no more art. It's art has been reduced to whatever's on the balance. There's only Zaslav. It's whatever's on the balance sheet. That's all they care about, right? But then the flip side is, before now, these companies needed to put pressure on their creatives to make better stuff that was more marketable. And they didn't do that. They blew hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars on stupid shit. We're going to wrap it up. Yeah, could have a while ago. Okay. Well, I'm sorry it's boring you, but it's the Hollywood's burning. Get the popcorn. We're going to wrap it up. Please subscribe. We'll talk later. Bye.